I was literally in shock. I was like, are you serious? And, I had the same almost reaction with religion. Oops.
Yeah, right?
I was like, wait a minute. You mean I've been lied to all this time? No, but it's the same thing. It's like we condition our children to believe lies, and that's wrong, and we shouldn't do that. It's like, if it's something that's make-believe, let's just say it's make-believe. Tell your kids it's make-believe. Is Santa Claus? No, he's just pretend. But we're going to pretend that he's coming, versus tell your kids. Kids believe everything their parents say. They depend on their parents as the beacon of truth.
Exactly.
And when
you find out they're not.
Yeah, then that's what makes teenagers rebel.
Yeah.
Because they say, you know what? Everything you've told me since I was little was a lie. I don't want to believe anything you say anymore. You can't tell your kids anything as teenagers if you've been lying to them since they were 4 and 5,
Yeah, you have no credibility at that point,
No credibility at all. And so, because they may not say it to your face, but they're thinking it. They're subconsciously saying, you lied to me since I was a kid. I don't want, that's why they're angry. That's why a lot of teenagers are angry, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
The teenagers will trust you a whole lot more if you're always open and honest with them throughout their childhood. And you just tell them, hey, that's good, that's bad, that's I don't know. With that, I don't know. You have to figure that out on your own. Kids may not want to hear that. I used to tell my little brothers that all the time. You need to go figure that out. I'm not giving you that.
Right, learn. Actually read. That's the one thing I have a problem with when it comes to religion is most people that follow, they expect that the person preaching or their parents tell them the whole truth, and they never actually read what's in the Old Testament or in the Bible at all. And I love people saying that Jesus said this and Jesus did that. It's like, have you ever actually read what's in red in that book?
Well, anytime I start preaching, I always ask them, okay, well, so where is that at?
Yeah.
And most of them, they have to go back and read. And I do it not because I'm trying to be, the smart aleck. I do it so that they will go back and study.
Yeah, because you can't, someone can't tell you the way it's supposed to be, and you're automatically going to accept it, because we are naturally type of person, especially when it contradicts what you've been told your whole life, we automatically shut it off and say, no, It's like you need to let people do it for themselves. You just point them in the right direction and say, hey, go read, because you have to come to your own realizations in life, and you have to go for what works for you. And
everybody has their own journey, and with anything and everything, I don't tell anybody answers. I only give them suggestions, and I ask them questions, and they'll develop their own answers based on the journey that the universe is taking them. Because you're right, everybody has their own journey and their own personal story, and theirs is not going to be the same as yours. Mine is not the same as yours. So everybody has to have that opportunity to figure it out. However, with the system we live in, doesn't even allow that.
No, you're conditioned from the time you're a child. You get 6 weeks at home with mom before you're shoved into a daycare and raised by strangers. And then you spend most of your time at home sleeping, so you don't really get to interact with those that should be helping you with your core self and with community. And so you're totally institutionalized by this point. And so, they're programming drones. They're programming people that'll sit there and vote for one of the two parties instead of realizing that, hey, not everything's X or Y, it's not A or B. There's more than just two choices in life. It's not just black and white. It's not just right and wrong. There's always this middle point. Like I say, anything is possible. Nothing's impossible, just improbable.
Right.
And math shows that in itself. Nothing is impossible. If we truly worked on it, we could find a way to levitate. It just takes, practice, like riding a bike. It's something that doesn't come naturally. You have to work at it.
Well, people don't think it's possible because they've never seen it. And that's
because they were told no. Because they were told, hey, I had a dream and it was the future. It's like, no, it's just your imagination. You're told that your whole life as a kid.
Yeah, you know what? And this is just a key thing, and I tell people a lot of this, is that if you really ask children, like most times kids start having a lot of their spiritual feelings and their spiritual gifts around 4 years old. And if a kid tells you something that they experienced or they tell you something that they felt, listen to them.
Yes.
And don't deny them that. If they say, I saw something, or I heard this, or I can do this, mommy, or something like that, hey, believe them. Because it's around 4 years old that a lot of the spirituality, that energy starts forming. And,
they start making connections and analyzing different things and connecting
and the kid is starting to understand that this is different. Something just happened. And they can vocalize that, versus when they're two, they see it, but they don't know what it is, I usually believe kids when they tell me stuff, and I'm like, oh, really, what happened? I want them to explain it to me. Like, well, what did you see?
And then when you build up this wonderful paradigm where you're restricted on what you've been told, and see, okay, I've moved. We're gonna get in. It's time for my hour. Anyways, hold on.